AJ Brown versus DK Metcalf. I was under the impression that DK Metcalf was far and above just about everybody we'd ever talked about or even thought about, because not just because of his physical stature, but what this man has been doing throughout his time in the NFL. He's been bodying people. He's more than willing to go out and block, and he just brings a whole new attitude to that Seahawks team. Last year, he had 58 catches for 900 yards and 7 touchdowns. This year, fast forward, 13 games, through 13 games, has nearly 1,200 receiving yards for 10 touchdowns, averaging 17.1 yards per catch. The way he's playing right now is in the conversation for some of the best wide receiver, or at least one of the best wide receivers, if not the best wide receiver in the NFL. He's in that conversation. I hope you guys realize that. I know this Devontae Adams stuff. I know Nuke Hopkins. I love Nuke Hopkins. But he's at least in the conversation now. In only his second year in the NFL. That's something special. And I think we made a video earlier about him being possibly the next Megatron, which, I mean, I guess. But at the same time, he's going to be himself. And last year, I think you saw a guy that was kind of still feeling his way out, just kind of seeing what he was going to do. This year, he clearly knows what he's doing. He clearly knows what he's going to bring to this team, and he continues to bring it each and every week. And I think he's just a man. But on the flip side of that, you got a guy like A.J. Brown. Now, A.J. Brown's also a second-year player, and I think he's kind of special too. I mean, if you look at a guy that, last year averaged 20 yards per catch, had over 1,000 yards with only 50 catches, which is crazy. I get that simple mathematical. It's 20 yards a catch. Also had 8 touchdowns. But through this year has missed 2 games, has the same number of catches, has 800 yards and 9 touchdowns. He has missed 2 games that DK Metcalf has played, and he only has 1 less touchdown. DK Metcalf, clearly one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. A.J. Brown is approaching that status. Not only that, but he's in the conversation now. Had 7 catches for 112 yards against the Jaguars. Also had a touchdown. He's played, once again, A.J. Brown has played 2 less games than DK Metcalf, and he has 1 less touchdown. So I think in terms of what he brings as a deep threat, he clearly is more of a deep threat, or at least in the same stratosphere as DK Metcalf. Does not have the size that DK Metcalf has. He's only 6 foot, 227. DK Metcalf's like 6'4", 230. So clearly doesn't have the size impact there, but he is still a very underrated player, and it's a shame. It's a bloody shame, because A.J. Brown has been tearing up the NFL ever since he got here, and nobody talks about it enough. Had 20 yards per catch. 20 yards per catch for a full season. Do you know how hard that is? I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, I had over 1,000 yards, and I mean, Ryan Tannehill just started to come out and ball, and A.J. Brown was a big reason for that. I truly believe A.J. Brown was a big reason as to why Ryan Tannehill came out and just started balling. So, I mean, he's just a great player, and I think that a lot of people need to realize that. Now, if I had to choose between the two, if I'm choosing from an athletic perspective, I think I'd go DK Metcalf. Because if you think about it, DK Metcalf is physically, clearly, way better of a talent. I shouldn't say way better, just a little bit better. I think he's 6'3", 6'4", 230. Clearly, he's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the strength. He's just a man. But I would be also lying if I said I wouldn't second guess it, because A.J. Brown has been showing something in the NFL for a long time now. I think he's been showing that not only is he a top player, I think he's a top wide receiver. I think he's a top player. I think he's in that conversation of the NFL top 100. I really do, because just of what he's shown in terms of what he does after the catch, his route running, his hands. I think he's a great good player, and I think he definitely, especially with those Titans, with Derrick Henry back there running the football for him, I think it just adds another element to that passing game that really nobody can stop. So if you've got a special player like A.J. Brown on the outside that's going to catch balls from Tannehill, and if you've got a special player in the backfield like Derrick Henry, that's a tough offense to stop. I don't think, quite frankly, the Titans, the Seahawks have that to that extent. Clearly, Chris Carson is not on that level, and that's okay, because Russell Wilson is better than Ryan Tannehill, so I guess it cancels out. But if I'm going to choose between DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown, overall I go DK Metcalf, but A.J. Brown is coming. I'm talking, this guy is coming faster than anybody thought. I think that he's vastly underrated, and it's a crime. There's a lot of players and that's kind of what I'm doing this segment for. AJ Brown is definitely a very underrated player, and I think that people are going to start to realize very soon what he can do, especially after 2 consecutive years of having over 1,000 yards. DK Metcalf never did that. His first year in the NFL only had 900, so I think he could be something special. AJ Brown could be something special, especially after he has two straight 1,000-yard receiving years. So it'll be fun to watch there.